Hi again, everyone, and welcome to the James J. McCann Center here on the campus of Marist College in Poughkeepsie, New York. I'm J.W. Stewart, along with my partner, Rob Faris, for tonight's season finale in the NEC between the host Marist College Lady Red Foxes and the visiting FDU Lady Knights. Well, FDU comes into the McCann Center after having sewn up first place in the NEC. That means they'll host the NEC semifinals and finals starting late next week. The Lady Knights come into tonight's ball game with a 14-3 NEC record, as I mentioned, good enough for first place, 15-10 overall. So they've taken it on the chin in non-conference play. They've been real strong when it comes to battling teams like the Red Foxes, Mount St. Mary's, and the Robert Morrises. Actually, FDU losing their last game to Robert Morris, coincidentally enough, one of the lower teams in the conference by a score of 70-54. They got blown out of Coraopolis, Pennsylvania last week. So they're coming in here after having their streak broken. They have, however, won 6 of their last 7 and 15 of their last 18 games. 3 big players to watch out for on this FDU team. One is Felicia Griffin, their point guard. So as goes Felicia Griffin, so goes these Lady Knights. If there's going to be one person that will kill Marist, it will be Felicia Griffin with her speed. Also second on the team in scoring. Their top scorer is Rita Berner. Can score from anywhere on the court. Dangerous three-point shooter. And inside, 6'1" senior center Trina Ricketts, who leads the team in rebounding. So Marist is going to have their hands full at every facet of the ball game tonight. And I turn now to Rob Faris. Rob, welcome to you once again.
Thank you very much, J.W.
Seems like we were here only 48 hours ago, and it's because we were doing the NEC men's quarterfinal game, coincidentally enough, against the FDU men. Let's hope the women have better luck here tonight.
Yeah, you're talking about FDU being one of the top teams in the NEC. Well, the Lady Red Foxes, they're red hot. Winners of 9 out of the last 10, 5 in a row. Their overall record 16-9. They're 11-6 in conference. And we were talking to Coach Babineau before the game. And interestingly enough, the first time these two met, it was a classic duel. It was 62-60. Marist took the one. And it was in the last seconds on a Cindy Carroll 12-footer. They scored 5 points in the last 3 seconds. It was an amazing game. They made all the babies down in Jersey. Talking to him tonight, he's got a little thing going in tonight. He wants to use a 2-1-2 matchup press zone. Because these FDU Lady Knights love to run. They love the up-tempo game. And they love to fight. He's trying to contain that. And there's a couple of matchups that are very key. Charlene Fields on Bernhardt. She, top scorer for the Lady Knights. Of course, Charlene Fields, she's everything for the Lady Red Foxes. She leads the team scoring 18 points a game. Also, the point guard situation you have before. Amy Presnell against Griffin is going to be a very key matchup. You mentioned Griffin. She's everything for the Lady Knights. It's going to be interesting to see how they do. Coach Babineau wants a low-scoring game. He says if it gets into the 80s, that's the FDU's advantage. He wants to keep it in the 60s like it was down in New Jersey.
We talked with FDU head coach Sharon Manning-Beverly before the game, or at least we tried to. Coach Beverly a little tight-lipped before the ball game. We always hear about players focusing on the big game, but Coach Manning said she didn't want to say anything about the big game. Did, however, let on that Marist and FDU play similar styles of basketball. So it should be a very exciting game, especially if they get into the run-and-gun style. But, of course, as you mentioned, the big key, of course, for Marist, it starts with the defense.
And Babineau said he wants to run it up on offense, but yet he wants to contain them on defense, which is going to be interesting because that's 2 contrasting styles. Usually when you do one, it's tough to do the other. It's going to be interesting to see tonight if they can do that.
As you alluded to, a very difficult task to pull up. We'll see if the Lady Red Foxes can do it when we return to the McCann Center for the season finale in the NEC. We'll be back. Okay, welcome back to the James J. McCann Center, everybody. JW Stewart along with Rob Faris for the Northeast Conference season finale between the host Marist College Red Foxes and the visiting FDU Lady Knights. Rob and myself are going to step back here for a minute, and we're going to toss it over to our PA announcer, Joe Beckerly.
For FDU at forward, a 5'8" senior from Chicago, New York, number 13, Megan Colkin. At forward for Marist, a 5'10" sophomore from Rome, New York, number 43, Lori Key. At forward for FDU, a 5'7" senior from Somerdale, New York, number 32, Donna Schul. At forward for Marist, a 5'10" junior from Media, Pennsylvania, number 34, Cindy Barrow. At center for FDU, a 6'1" senior from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, number 44, Trina Ricketts. At center for Marist, a 6'1" freshman from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, number 42, Stacy Fiedler. At guard for FDU, a 5'7" senior from Blackwood, New Jersey, number 20, Rita Bernard. At guard for Marist, a 5'7" sophomore from Berwick, New Jersey, number 33, Amy Fresnall. At guard for FDU, a 5'7" senior from the Bronx, New York, number 12, Felicia Griffin. And at guard for Marist, a 5'9" senior from Schenectady, New York, number 10, Charlene Fields.
Okay, you heard the PA announcements. Just in case you happen to miss it, the starting lineups once again. For FDU, number 12, Felicia Griffin, 13, Megan Culkin, number 20, Rita Bernard, 32, Donna Scholes, and 44, Trina Ricketts.
And JW, one quick note I didn't mention in the pregame was we talked to Babineau. One little minor injury, it's nothing really big. Lori Keys, her left quad is heavily wrapped. It was a pulled quad set. He says it shouldn't be a problem, but it's also another key matchup with Trina Ricketts down low. It's going to be interesting to see. Both are the leading rebounders for their respective teams. Either one wins the battle, could go that team's way also.
Exactly. Marist, the men, when they were hosting the other night against the FDU men, of course, they got killed on the boards by 19 rebounds. Women don't want the same thing to happen here. On the women's side of the ball, starting for the Foxes, of course, number 10, Charlene Fields, number 33, Amy Presnall, 34, Cindy Carroll, 42, Stacy Dengler, and 43, Lori Keys.
We didn't hear anything from FDU. It's going to be interesting to see, as we said, the slowdown matchup that Marist defense wants to have compared to this up-tempo offense of the FDU Lady Knights. It's going to be told early which team wins the battle on the offense and defense.
So it is the number 1 team in the conference, the FDU Knights, at 14-3 against the 11-6 Lady Red Foxes of Marist. And jumping for FDU will be Donna Scholes. And for Marist, number 43, Lori Keys. And it is corralled immediately by point guard Felicia Griffin.
We didn't talk about one thing. There's momentum, JW, coming into this game. FDU has already clinched the NEC title. They've clinched home court throughout the playoffs. It's going to be interesting to see how they fired up for this game against Marist.
Megan Culkin on the first possession of the ball game, whistled for taking steps.
They were traveling. They got blown out against Robert Morris on the road. I don't know if their focus is still intact. You know, this is a rivalry. Last game was a battle. We talked to Babineau about it. He says his team's focused. They are not looking into the playoffs, even though they're on a roll and red hot. It'd be something that
although we didn't get much out of FDU head coach Sharon Manning Beverly, I'm sure she would say the same thing. Cindy Carroll from the right wing to start off the Foxes. Rebounded by Griffin, and Griffin to run. D'd up in transition by Charlene Fields, but Fields will reassign herself to FDU's top scorer, Rita Bernard.
And right now, Charlene is not on it. It's a mismatch because Presnell's matched up on Bernard. There's a big rebound by Carroll.
Carroll in transition avoids the double dribble, a little sloppy ball handling as she crosses the timeline. Out to Fields in the corner, gets some room. That's an air ball, rebounded by Culkin.
And mention one note on Carroll. Carroll, everyone talks about Fields being a big scorer. of late, Carol's been looking for a shot. She's up their average to double-digit scoring. She's averaging over 10 points a game now, JW.
Clark off with the outside shot. We go the other way. Fields looking for room, closed off at the foul line. And it's going to go the other way.
They didn't call a kick on that.
No, they didn't. They should have. It was kicked by Shannon Clark of FDU. And Charlene Fields probably had the best view of all. And she said, "What are you talking about?"
She's shaking her head. Well, it was right in front of us, and the ball was definitely hit off the FDU player's foot.
So a slight break for FDU here in the early going. Just underway here at the McCann Center. Still scoreless. Culkin with a ball fake. Here's Griffin along the baseline. Misses. And rebounded by Lori Keys. Presnall looking to run. Gets it to Carroll. Immediately shut off along the baseline. Dengler, the power move to the hoop.
Cindy, that time, it almost looked like she was going to pull up and kick it out. Went right across to Stacey Dengler in the key.
And that's a traveling violation on Shannon Clark.
And that's a second in this early going. We're not even 2 minutes into the game. But going back to Carroll, we talked about it. Babineau wanted to slow it down. That time, he had the open shot. Marist, great job executing, passing in the open move.
Fox is on the board first, the 17:56 mark, 2-0. Carroll in the corner. Fouled underneath the basket.
That falls on Donna Scholes. She's a guard. Senior out of Somerville, New York. She played for Paul Six in high school.
Her first personal, the team's first foul.
Carroll immediately jacks up the three and nails it.
Just as I was talking about Carroll looking more offensive-minded, she had a great assist. She hits the three-pointer. She's responsible in one way or another for all 5 of the Marist points.
Fox is throwing that press we talked about. Here's Shannon Clark, fouled on the way up.
And I don't know if there's something wrong with Trina Ricketts because she is not in the game right now, JW.
Yeah, I know.
We got her on our card. It's number 44.
Number 42, Stacey Dengler, her first personal, the team's first foul.
Oh, she was announced in the starting lineup.
Clock ran out in her place. I just thought maybe the warm-up jacket, she forgot it and she was wearing clocks, but that is not the case.
FDU on the board with Shannon Clark's first free throw. It is 5-1 Marist.
And they do really look to run it up FDU because that was very quick after the Carroll's 3. FDU was down there in a hurry. They got the quick foul on Lori Keys down low as they were not able to get back in position. Now we see a little press of FDU's.
Marist turns the ball over, scooped up by Donna Scholes, and she will outrace Cindy Carroll from the hoop.
That time double team on Presnell immediately after she crossed half court, using the half court as a third person, knowing that she couldn't go back would be a backcourt violation. Carroll couldn't get over in time. Easy basket for FDU.
Foxes get across half court on this trip. Presnall looking for room. Kick out to Keys. Carroll open at the top of the key. Presnall has time to set. Rebounded by Griffin. Her third already.
Griffin quickly pushing it up.
Bernard to Clark.
It's going to be FDU ball. That was a great pick and roll right there from Griffin to Clark that time. That's almost like pro execution. I'm surprised. I don't think our men's team could run that effectively.
I don't think they can.
Especially after watching them the other night.
Bernard to inbounds to Clark. Clark with a nice leap over Dengler. She's fouled by the freshman.
And that's the second foul down low. Dengler has one. Keys has one. I know it's still early. FDU, there's no doubt about what their game plan is. They're going down low, trying to get the big girls in foul trouble early. Maybe Tina Ricketts coming off the bench or a little game plan. That could be, we don't know for sure.
If that's what happens, and Marist is in for a long night. If the starting front court of Clark and Scholes and Bernard is able to control Marist, bringing in Trina Ricketts, a power herself, Marist will be in some big trouble.
Maybe after that crushing defeat by Robert Morris, Coach Sharon Beverly's doing a little something just to mix it up. maybe to get another look before you go into the conference playoffs.
Clark had a chance to take the lead.
Great steal.
FDU coming up with the ball. Back in the hands of Donna Scholes.
That was a great steal that time. By Bernhardt. We'd talk about her offense. That time she showed us she could play a little D herself.
Bernhardt going baseline.
The complete that.
She is. Remember, she leads the team in scoring.
All right, now we're going to get it.
Faris having trouble getting the ball up court. Andrea Macy just into the ball game. Has to come back to help out.
I'd look for Coach Babineau to take a timeout more soon.
Carroll from inside the arc.
That time, just foot on the line, it was just nearly a 3. Oh, look at
Wide
this.
open is Felicia Griffin.
That time they broke the press very easily. A great pass that time to Felicia Griffin, wide open under the net.
Schultz was double teamed just beyond the timeline, and she was still able to get the pass off. Marist getting better with breaking the press. Here's Carroll again. Rebounded by Scholes. Avoids the travel. Felicia Griffin going one-on-one with Presnell, and she is fouled.
And JW, this is not the type of pace Coach Babineau wants. This is definitely the type of pace Coach Beverly wants. As right now, we're seeing Marist on offense, looking a little confused. They can't handle the press, and they took a quick shot that time. Carroll missing the jump shot. Immediately down the other end went FDU. 9 points already, 5 minutes into the game. And you forget, Marist was off to a 5-0 lead.
Rita Bernhardt inside.
Great pass that time. Rita Bernhardt wide open. She scored the last 4 points.
It is an 11-7 lead for FDU. 15 minutes left to go in the half. Fields has only taken one shot in the first 5 minutes. Keys lets fly the air ball, gets it right back, and gets the roll.
Good second effort by Laura Keys. Look at this pass.
Bernhardt short, but Griffin there for the save.
You really can't turn your head, JW.
No, you can't.
We're just about to talk about Keys laying it in. It was a great second effort, and there goes a touchdown pass down the other end for FDU.
Culkin whistles for the travel. This is exactly what Babineau was afraid of. Remember, he told us at the beginning of the ball game what FDU does is they send 2 people out on either wing to sprint down court. Faris, that means they have to commit 2 people from the offensive boards to keep up with them.
Exactly, and now we're seeing Trina Ricketts coming in for Shannon Clark. And also number 22, Stacy Conroy. A little side note on Conroy, played at the same high school, Broadnack High School in Maryland, as Andrea Macy did.
So the 2 former teammates are on the floor together. Macy wearing number 35, Conroy wearing number 22. It is Conroy shadowing Charlene Fields.
Look for Marist to take advantage of that matchup, JW. Actually, they switched it off right now.
Jill Heller into the ball game, the backup point guard for the Foxes, wearing number 20. Foul down low on Megan Culkin.
And you've seen the last 2 possessions for the Lady Red Foxes going down low back to Keys. Excuse me. That's getting it low, getting the foul on Culkin. So
Babineau not happy with the present lineup. Inserts 2 more freshmen, Tara Walsh, number 25, and Melissa Hauser, number 24. So there are now 3 freshmen on the floor, a sophomore, and of course the senior Field, and the sophomore, Andrea Macy scores.
Andrea Macy might be a sophomore, but she's a starter, so she's going to get the job done, and she's proven all year she can.
So the former Broadneck star is one up on her former teammate Conroy. Ricketts is stripped. Marist ball.
That time Macy coming off the backside of it. Questionable no foul call on that one. I'm sure everyone on this side of us, as we're on the FDU side, looking for the call. We'll take it.
Marist now has to deal with Trina Ricketts, as we mentioned, number 44, 6'1".
Right now with this lineup on the court, Lady Red Foxes no doubt looking for Fields. She's going to be the go-to. Or Macy. Those 2 got the most experience. As you said, 3 freshmen are on the court.
Fields has only taken 1 shot, as you mentioned, in the last 6.5 minutes. Marist has scored the last 4 points to tie the game again at 11. Walsh off the high pick and roll.
Nice passing that time by the Lady Red Foxes. They spread it out. They used the shot clock very well. Got the open shot for Walsh. She buried it.
Conroy. Ricketts. Double team by Macy. And Keys. Excuse me, not Keys, but Tara Walsh, she draws the foul.
Foul charge against number 25 for Marist.
Ricketts, she's a force. She's a big girl, 6'1", she's a senior, she's out of Philly. She went to Central High School in Philly, so obviously she's a tough girl.
Entering the game for
Same high school system that produced Cindy Carroll, Archbishop Prendergast in the tough Philly League.
At the line for FDU.
Ricketts will be at the foul line. The foul charge to Tara Walsh, her first. More substitutions for FDU. Number 34, Denise Stew comes into the ball game, the 5'10" sophomore from Somerset, New Jersey, as Ricketts misses the first one.
Little note on Ricketts. She's 6th on the all-time rebounding list at FDU. She has 69, excuse me. That sure to be counting in her final games in the playoffs and stuff.
Macy in the middle breaks the press. 1 point lead for the Foxes, 13-12. Hauser's open for the three. And rebound to Stew. Here is Griffin.
Ooh.
Ricketts, collision with Macy. And Macy called for the foul.
And that was an over-the-top foul on Andrea. Coming back, looking at Marist breaking that press now. That FDU press, that is. Very comfortable. We're sending Macy right to the half court on the following side. They're passing it up to her. She's passing either to the left or right wing, and they're breaking it very well. Very effective right now.
Stew from the corner.
Showing her range.
FDU takes the lead again, 14-13. Ball going out of bounds right in front of us. I thought it was going to knock over our soda.
You gotta get a grip on that soda over there.
Fields to inbounds from the near side.
Conroy quietly doing an excellent job on Charlene Fields. She hasn't taken a shot since that matchup's coming to the game.
Fields has still only one shot. And I only have to refer back to 48 hours ago when some of the men on the basketball team hesitated in their loss to FDU in the first half shooting the basketball.
Those are under different conditions, of course, that being a playoff game, a little more pressure, a lot. First home game in a while. 3 years.
Walsh with 3 on the shot clock, clangs the front of the rim. Conroy through the hands of Trina Ricketts. And Cindy Carroll let it go out of bounds.
Smart play by Carroll. That time she had thoughts of maybe gathering it before it went out of bounds. She could have lost it, and it could have gone out on her, and it could have been FDU's ball. Made the right choice that time.
12:07 left to go here, first half, 14-13, Lady Knights. Heller gets past Griffin. Griffin's quick. She can kill you with her speed. Downstairs to Andrea Macy.
Great pick and roll that time. We saw Andrea Macy set the pick. She released right off that pick. Carroll spotted her up with the easy assist and 2 points.
Griffin. Ricketts had position. Try to feed it inside, back outside to Conroy. Stew, the wrap around to Ricketts. The rip from Griffin and the putback.
The little girl down in the paint. Showing how quick she really is.
Felicia Griffin, only 5'7", but has already collected 5 rebounds tonight. Carroll with a leaner.
JW, in this role, Marist 1 night out of 10, 5 in a row, as we said. Carroll has found her stroke from the field, as she's been lighting them up.
Walsh all alone for the board. Foxes, they want to run. Carroll feeds Hauser. That's a charge.
Good call. Melissa Hauser that time out of control. Good position on FDU. Number 32, that was Donna Schulz.
Had Hauser been able to get around Schulz, it was an easy 2 for Andrea Macy on the other side.
16 foul. Entering the game for FDU, number 30.
Ricketts and Stewart out, so is Conroy. Christine Bachman makes her first appearance in the ball game. And this is going to be a theme all night, the constant shuttling in and out of bench players, Rob.
What? Boys.
Bachman.
Great play right there. At the pace FDU plays at, you have to shuffle in and out. You have to have a deep bench, or you can't play that type of game because by second half, your legs are weary and you're slowing down and you make a lot of mistakes.
Hauser there to save Marist. We're halfway through the first half, and it's still touch and go. 18-17, FDU. Keys in the paint.
This is a back-and-forth battle, just as we thought it would be. Two tough teams. First time they played, it was a 2-point game.
Culkin for 3, misfires. And another rebound for Tara Walsh. Excuse me, Jill Heller. There is Walsh. Ball stolen. Griffin finally holds on to it. And wide open is Megan Culkin.
Now, right now, FDU's getting a lot of easy layups.
Carroll pulls up. Walsh there. Back to Hauser from 8 feet.
We're seeing a great basketball game first half today.
Griffin. Keys almost had a piece of it.
It's up and down, up and down. We can't really comment. We're trying to comment on one thing. You got 3 more things going on at the same time.
Heller around the high pick. And she hits.
This is like a Loyola Marymount game. Not much defense going on. And I'm sure Coach Babino is not happy with that.
He is not. He's putting his hands up. He's saying, we got to slow it down.
He's definitely doing what he wants on offense. As he said, he wanted to push it up on offense, and they are getting great shots.
Nice save by Culkin.
But the Lady Knights have excellent movement and excellent passing in their offense.
Culkin in the post. Marist ball. And Charlene Fields is back into the ball game. Marist holds a 23-22 advantage with Fields taking only 1 shot and missing so far.
You're talking about teams. Both of these teams are shooting a very high percentage. They're taking a lot of high percentage shots. Not too many long shots. Carroll's coming out. She's connected pretty deep. But you talked about FDU's bench and how deep they've got to go. In a game like this, Coach Babino's going to have to go way down on his bench because his girls are going to get fatigued.
Injuries wiped out 2 of the Lady Red Foxes early in the year. Dara Metz has not played a ball game because of a back injury. Same for Lisa Chmielewski. There's Tara Walsh from inside the foul line. Chmielewski going down in mid-season, so Babino lost her services as well.
The freshmen like Stacy Dengler, Tara Walsh, as we just saw hitting that shot, Jill Heller have come up and they've stepped up. All 3 freshmen, all girls are stepping up to the call and helping out, making this a great season for the Lady Foxes.
As we mentioned, 9 out of their last 10. One of the big reasons for it has been the play of their bench. Not only that, but also consistent scoring. Andrea Mason chipping in with 10 points every now and then. And as we speak, here comes Mason back into the ballgame. Dengler, she may be off for a few games, but when you need her, she gets her 15 points. Lori Keys usually getting close to a double-double.
And Dengler's also always around that 8 or 9 rebound mark herself on the defensive board. Talking about the emergence of Carroll as a shooter now. She's always been a great ball handler and passer. Now she's really starting to take her shot. And now, looking at a team, you're talking about consistency. Men, very inconsistent. We never really knew what was going to happen from one game to the next. The women, you kind of have a feeling of what's going to happen. Their style of play. They have developed a style, unlike the men.
And they're very comfortable on it, too. 25-24 Marist. Bachman's 2 free throws bring the Lady Knights back within 1. It was a close game just like this exactly a month ago today down at the Rothman Center in Teaneck, New Jersey. Close throughout the first half. Keys.
Nice.
Short. Does
Great
not
move
get
by
the roll.
Keys, though. Dipping the shoulder, looking for a little contact. She's got it. And as I look up at the board now, Faris has got 17 fouls already. After using the penalty, we really weren't paying attention to that. We're making a call on that. FDU doing a great job, even with this up and down pace. Only 3 team fouls up to this point. And with that deep bench, looks like there's no threat of anyone following out at this point.
Keys, the 58% free throw shooter.
In conference, a little below that average at 54. She's made 38 out of 70. She's been to the line more than anyone else in conference play. 3 more foul shots than Charlene Fields at 67.
Touchdown pass goes through Bernhardt's hand, so incomplete. 26-24.
Second down and 10. A run spot.
Amy Presnall, the sophomore from Berlin, New Jersey, back into the ballgame. Nice pick by Lori Keys to get her across half court. Marist, as you notice, has not had much of a problem bringing the ball past half court the past few minutes.
No. It was only that first 2-3 minutes when they first saw that FDU press. It was almost like they weren't expecting FDU to come out with that press. They settled down. They've made their adjustments. They have a rotation. They're working fine and breaking it with no problem at all.
Fields misses her second shot of the night, but no problem. Andrea Macy there for the board and the putback. Here's Griffin the turnaround over Presnall, in and out, and Amy the rebound. 4-point lead for the Foxes, 28-24, 7 minutes left to go. Carroll wide open from the near side. Buried it.
I think this style of play FDU plays is contagious because Marist is rubbing right off, and then they'll say thank you. They have 30 points already.
Bachman airs out the 3 and nails it.
I'd love to see the percentages at the half. Both of these teams shooting the lights out.
Bachman has 7. Carroll for the Foxes has 9.
We talked about it before the game. Christine Bachman, 5'10" junior out of Milford, New Jersey. She's the 3-point threat of the team, one of the top in the NEC.
Fields with the air ball. Macy. The rebound. Keys sets up.
Great second effort, Andrea Macy. She missed her shot, followed it right back up, knew where the bounce was going to go. Dishes it to Keys for the 2.
Griffin. Fouled by Amy Presnall. We have not had a timeout yet, Rob. I'm having so much fun. I hope they don't call one.
We need to catch our breath, though. In case any of you watching this game tonight haven't noticed, this is a multi-camera shoot. You're seeing a couple of different angles that you usually don't see with the men or women. Lucky enough to do this once a year. And this is my first time doing it, and I'm enjoying it.
Good. I'm glad we have a good game for you. And when we do have a timeout, when we do have a break, history will be made. We'll go to a special guest. Stay tuned for that.
A little twist into MCTV.
Griffin hit the first. She has 8 here in the first half.
Looking down at that special guest, I just took a look down. He's getting a little antsy.
Yeah, I know. We're paying him big bucks. He hasn't said anything yet. Now we better keep quiet. We don't want to give it away. 32-29, 5:44 left to go before the half. Foxes with a 3-point lead.
We got to travel. Yeah, good call right there. Andreas shuffling the feet. And we look 5:39 left in this first half. 32-29 right now. You're looking at maybe about a mid-70s to high 70s type game. And Badmino was a little hesitant. He didn't want that. But right now, suits him fine.
He doesn't seem to mind it because the women have not had a problem handling this up-tempo type of game. Trina Ricketts back into the ball game. Marist basketball. Much to the delight of the crowd behind us, and a pretty decent crowd on hand tonight for the season finale for both clubs.
Very decent crowd. Saturday night, And usually, women not known to draw a lot of people. As we turn around, these bleachers are pretty packed. And it's good to see. And they're the winning team right now. They're the hot team in the school. So
they are the hottest team on campus right now. 9 out of their last 10. Fields finally hits. That's a 3.
Way downtown. That was about from Main Street.
3-pointer number 44 on the year for Fields. She shoots 35% from behind the arc. Griffin. That's 10 for Felicia Griffin, the first player to hit double figures tonight, and we're still 4 minutes and 45 seconds away from halftime.
Speaking of Fields, were those her first points? But
stolen. Felicia Griffin, 2-on-2. And Scholes on the wing waits for Ricketts, who missed the hook shot. Fields to the defense. finds teammate Cindy Carroll, who lost the ball off the bump from Griffin.
Looking at Fields coming up this court that time, JW. Looks like she's feeling it now. She drove right to the middle, dished it off to Carroll. That time an unfortunate bounce where it bounced out of bounds, but right past.
Fields missed her first 3 shots, hit the 3 at the 5-minute mark to give the Foxes a 4-point lead, 35-31. Shannon Clark back into the ball game. She started. Bachman. And there is Shannon Clark.
Big board from Shannon Clark. And with Ricketts and Clark in and out of this game, you can see the size of FDU taking effect. They're getting a little more to the boards right now. They're doing a good job. Great drive that time.
Fields with a left hand.
Excellent drive, showing her left-hand ability.
Charlene Fields leads the team in scoring, averaging 18 points a ball game, points number 4 and 5 for the senior from Schenectady.
One of the most prolific scorers in Lady Red Fox history.
She was chasing the all-time scoring mark. She will not get it unless she comes up with 117 points the next few ball games. She will finish her career at Marist as being the number 2 scorer all time in the history of the school. Andrea Macy missing one from the post.
Scoring 117. That all depends on how far they can go in the NEC, too.
Exactly.
That isn't that far out of range, depending on what she does here tonight.
You figure if they were to go the distance in the NEC, they'd play 3 games. She'd have to average 30 points over the next 4 games to pull it off. Carroll had the high pick and roll set from Heller. Macy, another chance. FDU can tie or take the lead this trip down the court. The long 3 from Rita Bernhardt. Odd shot from her, had plenty of time on the shot clock.
And quietly, Christine Bachman of FDU, she's having a great game coming off the bench.
Carroll holds on from the foul line. And Andrea Macy right there missed the putback. Bernhardt getting the loose ball.
Bernhardt getting the... Though she didn't hit the shot, Andrea Macy didn't. Lori Keys did a great job of keeping that ball alive on that last possession.
Shannon Clark off the wraparound from Christine Bachman. Tied at 37, 1:51 left to go here, first half. Fields for 3, short, rebounded by Schultz. 3-on-2 break. Here's Rita Bernhardt, turned it over.
Great defensive play by Charlene that time.
Carroll is ahead of the pack. Schultz didn't fight for the ball fake. Keys from 10 feet.
Let the roll. Up and down we go, up and down.
9 points for Keys, the sophomore from Rome, New York. Bachman wide open for 3. Carroll there for the ball. Mass substitutions at the next dead ball. And Cindy Carroll will set the half-court O.
I think the FDU, the Lady Knights, they're going to need some oxygen tanks on the sideline right now. They're going to have 3 substitutions coming up at this next whistle, if there is a next whistle, under a minute left.
Keys to turn around. Over Clark. 11 points for Lori Keys to lead the Foxes in the first half. Fields had a chance at the steal. Bernhardt airs out the 3. No, it's a 2. 8 points for Bernhardt. Down to 37 seconds to go. Foxes lead by 2, 41-39. FDU wanted that call to 3. Ref said no way.
Didn't have a good angle at that, Jada. I couldn't tell you either way.
Neither ref gave a signal is all I saw. 20 on the game clock, 10 on the shot clock. Carroll closed off 3 on the shot clock. Keys, the fall away. Up to Felicia Griffin. 5 seconds left to go. Bernhardt. Hit it.
Okay.
That's a 3.
That's a good. Birdie coming out, closing the half with a couple of big shots. One a questionable 3, and that one, no doubt about it. That's a 3. We're going to score 42-41 at the half.
We did not stop once in the first half. The first half ended the way it began, with a bang. 42-41 is our halftime score. FDU over the Foxes by 1. We'll be back to the McCann Center for more exciting basketball in just a moment. Okay, and we welcome you back to the James J. McCann Center here on the campus of Marist College, Poughkeepsie, New York. JW Stewart, Rob Faris back in time for the start of the second half. Foxes trail the Knights of FDU 42-41. Marist College with the possession to start the second half for the Foxes. Number 10, Charlene Fields, 34, Cindy Carroll, 33, Amy Presnell, 42, Stacy Dangler, and 43, Lori Keys. Cindy Carroll for the three, wide right. Rebounded by number 30, Shannon Clark. For the Lady Knights, besides Clark, they have number 32, Donna Schulz, number 20, Rita Bernert, number 12, Felicia Griffin, and number 21, Christine Bachman. So Bachman impressing head coach Sharon Manning Beverly enough to give it a start in the second half, Rob.
2 for 4 from the field, 2 for 2 from the line. She had 7 points overall. She also ripped out 2 rebounds. She did, coming off the bench, an excellent job, as did most of the players on both teams. There really wasn't anyone that had a bad half. Maybe Charlene Fields statistically had 5 points is a little bit low for her, but excellent first half overall, both sides.
We talked about both teams shooting the lights out, and indeed they did. Both teams shooting in the 50 percentile ranking. FDU shot an even 50%, 16 to 32 in the first half. Foxes 19 of 37, 51%. And if this continues, we are going to see that 80-point ball game that head coach Ken Babineau was very wary of.
Yeah, we saw FDU made a great run at the end of that first half. Compliments of Miss Burnett. She banged home 5 points in the closing minute. Give them the 1-point lead, and that put her up to 11. And now we're seeing it go back and forth again, right where we left off. Griffin finishing off to 2.
12 for Griffin. Lori Keys, just a few seconds earlier, getting points 12 and 13 to start the scoring off here in the second half.
It was interesting enough, not one timeout in the first half.
Cindy Carroll that's a 2, stepped on the line. 11 points for Carroll.
That's the second time she's really been close to a 3. Both times she's had the foot on the line, so.
FDU led in scoring at the half by Griffin with 10, Bernard with 11. Carroll had 9, and Keys had 11. Here's Bachman from the left wing.
And it looks like coming out, the halftime didn't slow either team down. Both of them coming out, firing, running, gunning up and down the court again.
They must have hooked themselves up to the oxygen tanks at the break.
Got a couple breaths, said, okay, let's go do it again. Another 20.
Taking a look at the Red Foxes coming out of the locker room. I got a chance to see them as they re-enter the court just a few moments ago. Couple of red flushed faces, but otherwise than that, they seem okay.
This type of game, usually from a player's standpoint, sure you get tired, but it's awful fun to play in. Momentum, adrenaline, that takes over, and you really don't feel the fatigue. Feel it later on tonight, probably. Not right now.
Fields missing with the air ball.
And in every sense of the word, this is a street-type game. No rules up and down the court. Lakers used to call it showtime.
UNLV used to call it run and gun. I don't know what the Red Foxes call it. At the end of the game, probably tiring. And they hope to call it a win. Bachman hits for 3. 12 points for Bachman.
Sorry, JW. She was 1 of 2 first half from 3-point range. Banging that one home. She has a quick 5 in the second half.
The Lady Knights open up a 4-point lead, 49-45, as we're just 3 minutes into the second half. Keys. Rebounded by Griffin. Griffin, despite her size, corralled 4 rebounds in the first half at 5'7". She picks up rebound number 5. Nice fake by Clark, but she missed the hoop. Griffin.
Nice
off the feed from Schultz.
Excellent play from Schultz to Griffin on that one. JW, both teams are hot shooting. I got the feeling, though, as FDU stretches a lead to 6. Babineau, he does call a timeout, just about what I was going to say. Call a timeout, regroup. Can't let this thing get too far out of hand.
We're going to take ourselves a quick break. 51-45 is the score in favor of FDU. When we come back, our special guest as MCTV makes history. Back here at the McCann Center, 51-45 is the score in favor of the Lady Knights of FDU. And we're going to throw it over to our sideline reporter, Ted Holmlund. Ted.
Coach Babineau is saying the team wasn't playing good defense, and he said that's basically all it came down to, JW, is not enough defense, and he wants them to step it up right now, and we'll take it right back to you, JW.
Okay, Ted, thank you very much for that report. Coming out of the timeout, Foxes turn the ball over off the missed shot from Stacy Dengler, and as I mentioned, Rob, MCTV making history with that sideline report from Ted Holmlund as Amy Presnall crashes into our broadcast position. Felicia Griffin followed up by Shannon Clark.
And Amy looks to be a little hurt. She came flying into this table, JW. She's all right. Right before that timeout, I was like, remember Babineau, he wants a controlled offensive game. He likes to push it, but he sees that it's not going to work. He can't trade baskets for 40 minutes with FDU in the transition game. They're going to have to settle down, take some time off the shot clock, make some decent shots, and then play a little defense. Because it's run and gun, 6 points, and it could get a lot worse from here.
Presnall missing the reverse layup. Here's Griffin working against Fields. Goes one-on-one. Fields made her change her shot, and Presnall with the ball.
And this time, Amy doing the exact thing. She could have pressed it up, electing to slow it down, set up the half-court offense. Slowly bank it down low to the big girls.
And here's where the Foxes usually get themselves into trouble, those dangerous wraparound passes to the post. They equal easy turnovers and easy buckets for the other team. And it has always been a problem with this offense. There's Bachman who converts.
Very impressive tonight.
Biggest lead of the ball game for the Lady Knights, 8 points, 53-45 at the 14:46 mark.
During that timeout, JW, I was listening to Coach Sharon Beverly. She's very pleased with the offense, the way they're moving. She feels she's got this game in her type of tempo. And she was just encouraged more of the same aggressive defense.
The wraparound once again with 6 in the shot clock. Dengler takes the shot and hits for 2.
They have to have a post-game download for the rest of this game. Great steal by Presnall.
Presnall leading the break. FDU back on defense. Here's Carroll with a pull-up. Shannon Clark with the rip. Once again, mass substitutions at the next whistle. There you see head coach Ken Babineau spurring his defense on. Griffin with the pump fake. Bachman the fall away, and she is fouled.
That time, I think she really knew she was going to draw the foul, Bachman, that is. But she just threw out 2 hands, just hoping to get to the line. And we really haven't had that many free throws, considering this type of up-and-down tempo.
Second team foul.
Marist only took 2 in the first half, hit 1. FDU on the other side took 10, they hit 8.
And number 35, Andrea Macy.
And here's the first free throw opportunity for either club.
For FDU, number 21.
A little over 6 minutes in. And going back, you said Marist only took 2, and that's 2 reasons. Great defense by FDU. Also, the absence of the low post game. Without that low post game, no really way to draw the foul. It's been up and down, a lot of transition baskets, and
Marist has never really had a chance to set into that classic low post half court game.
Bachman connects on a pair. FDU lead.
16 points from Steve Bachman, leading all scorers. Did not start in the game, is not the team's leading scorer, but she is burning the Foxes here, as it is a 55-47 lead for the Lady Knights of FDU. That's Macy tossing up the air ball from three-point range with 3 on the shot clock.
On line, just a little bit short.
She hit the net, unfortunately didn't hit the rim with it.
Also into the game for number 13, Megan Holmlund.
That time, let the shot clock, as you said, roll down to 3 seconds. That's too much.
And that's happened a few times to the Foxes tonight as well.
FDU's just playing a great game, I guess. They're coming off that game against Robert Morris where they really got blown out of the place. And they're responding with a big game on the road before they go home. And they'll play at home throughout the playoffs as long as they last anyway. So they're just making one last statement, it looks like, on the road before they get back home.
Unlike the Red Foxes, FDU gets to skip the first round of the playoffs. Marist will play as the number 4 seed in the NEC quarterfinals starting Wednesday night. MCTV will be here for that coverage, of course. Interesting note, Foxes have never won a playoff game under head coach Ken Babineau. 0 for 5, they try for their first win in 6 attempts next Wednesday.
And last year we did the game, the playoff game that was, and it was a one-and-done situation as they bowed out in the first round again, unfortunately.
Fields whistled for the foul.
Foul charge against number 10 for Marist.
There'll be a lot of similar situations going back to that playoff. The men were a 4th seed, hosting a home game 2 nights ago. We already know the results of that, unfortunately, and they weren't pretty. Women will try it next week. Same type of situation, 4 versus 5. Hopefully they'll have a little better luck.
Denise Stew back into the ball game. Here's Ricketts. Culkin will reset. Stew. And that's going to be a foul. Looked like from our angle, she might have taken a few steps.
I was going to say, I thought the whistle was going to be a traveling.
Foul charge.
She never really put the ball on the floor. She took a couple steps, which was overlooked.
The 4th team foul at the line for FDU is number 34, Denise Stewart.
Cindy Carroll back in the ball game for Charlene Fields. Cindy playing almost all of the first half.
Showing she's in tremendous physical shape. As that was a very, the pace was tremendous, up and down, and that's going to take a lot out of you. She really didn't seem fazed by it. Now, Stu burying the first. She has a chance for another one. She can extend the lead to 10. 12 minutes, 21 seconds left to go. Marist's going to have to change its philosophy a little. Try and do something, maybe a little pressure inbound to stop the FDU's run. Because right now, basically, FDU's doing anything they want at will.
57-47 in favor of the Lady Knights. 12-16 left to go in the ball game. Fox is in danger of slipping behind more than they would like to be. Although this is how the previous game ran a month ago today, in fact, at the Rothman Center in Teaneck. And here we go, same situation, 7 on the shot clock. Wrap around pass to Dangle, she's blocked. Still got a hand on it, the shot clock expires. Outstanding defense by Denise Stew.
And the whole team that time, every girl was covered around. Nowhere to pass it up. Lori Pease grabbed the ball. She dropped it in disgust as the horn sounded for the shot clock. Oh, nice slam.
Donna Schulz goes right through the heart of the Marist defense.
And he wants a timeout. We saw Coach Babylon's going to a timeout. We can't let this thing get out of hand.
We'll go to a timeout ourselves. 59-47 is the lead, the biggest advantage of the ball game for FDU. We'll be back. Back here on the floor of the James J. McCann Center, we send it down to our right, to our colleague, Ted Holmlund. Take it away, Ted.
Coach Ken Babineau was saying that they had to step up the offensive pressure, and he said right now that the team isn't going at a good pace right now, and he says that the offense is stagnant and that the team has to really start stepping it up, and they can't afford to trade baskets. Back to you, JW.
Ted, thank you very much for that report from behind the Marist bench. Ted Holmlund, our sideline reporter tonight. Stacy Conroy taking strong to the hole. Trina Ricketts misses. Stacy Dengler with a powerful rip.
And with Ricketts inserted into this lineup again, JW, look for a lot of defensive boards and a lot of offensive boards, as we just saw one there, unable to convert, fortunately for the Foxes.
Foxes are already behind by 12. Lori Keys misses from the baseline, and Griffin comes out of the fray with it. Picked off by Amy Preslaw, and she is immediately fouled by Denise Stew.
That was a good foul by Denise Stew that time. Don't want to give up the easy hoop. That was only the second team foul for FDU. Nearly halfway through the second half, so not really going to do anything left.
Returning to the game for Marist, number 10.
Marist will inbounds from the far side. Charlene Fields back into the ball game after a short breather.
And you got to wonder if this fatigue is taking its toll on the Lady Red Foxes. Last couple trips down the floor, a lot of iron. They're not getting their shots to fall anymore as they did in the first half.
Fields, ball fake. And Charlene Fields back into the game, only having scored 5 points. Marist cannot last that long without Fields putting in some type of offense. She tosses up the brick there from the left side. 10:21 left to go. Fox is in big trouble right now, in danger of getting blown out of the building.
Kind of similar to what we saw with the men 2 nights ago. You're going to get this sense of urgency. But basically, really what they got to do is just play solid defense and convert easy baskets on offense.
Still a lot of time left should Marist want to go to that slowdown game like Babineau said he wanted to. Dengler fouled on the way up.
Right there, Fields had the open shot outside. She figured she'd get it down low. Get to the line that time for Miss Dengler. She'll be shooting too.
Now charge against number 44 for FDU, Trina Ricketts. Her first personal, the team's third foul.
When we talked to Coach Babineau wanting the game in the 60s, obviously that's not going to happen with 10 minutes left to go. FDU already has 59 points. This is what he was worried about. We didn't really see it in the first half. It was a 1-point game at 42-41. But as time goes on, fatigue sets in. Girls start missing their shots, a little tired. And this is what he was talking about when he had to contain this up-tempo game. This is not their style of basketball.
Stacy Dengler missing the first one. She's a 56% free throw shooter. As a team, the Foxes shoot 65%. Dengler makes 1 of 2. 5 points tonight for the freshman from Central Dauphin High School in Pennsylvania. Christine Bachman back into the game, and that could spell trouble for the Red Foxes as she's been hot.
Definitely came out of the block second half. She got the start. She came out on fire. I believe 7 to 9 points she scored coming out before she was spelled for a relief. She's back in the game. She poses an outside threat. She's also very good in transition, running the floor, very quick, and she can get down the court. So
you just saw a shot of the Marist College bench, very deep bench at that, as Fields fires it up from 3-point range. Dengler chases down the rebound. Babineau's used all of his bench tonight except for 2. Becky Paulo and Esther Valentin. There's Lori Keys with spin.
And it was Keys that kept the offensive board alive the first time on the missed shot by Charlene.
Griffin. Fields got a hand on it. 9-point ball game, 59-50. Bachman wide open. Clangs the shot, but gets the tip. Wraparound to Stew. Around Dengler. Melissa Hauser there for the white.
Right now, they're kind of getting back in that mode. They've cut it to 9. On this possession, can get it down to 7, maybe 6 on a 3-pointer. Also on that last possession, looking at Felicia Griffin. I think she hurt her ankle. She's walking on it a little gingerly.
Megan Colkin in the passing lane, and that's a carry. A lucky break for the Foxes, because that could have been 2. Timeout on the floor. FDU takes it this time. 59-50 is the score in favor of the Lady Knights. We'll be back to the McCann Center in just a moment.
Thanks, JW. Coach Babineau right now is saying that he's recalling a time they played when they were down 9. They were down 9 to FDU at FDU, and they came back to win. He's recalling on that past memory for them right now, and he's hoping it'll carry the Red Foxes to the victory. Back to you, JW.
Ted, thank you very much. Back over here to our broadcast position, JW Stewart, Rob Faris.
He's the next to moderate.
He is. ABC Sports has nothing on us. 59-50 is the score in favor of the Lady Knights from FDU. Ted Holmlund, thank you once again for the sideline report. We'll be checking in with him at every timeout as he's manning the Marist bench. And as this game gets closer, he's going to be feeding us some valuable information.
Travel.
That is a traveling violation. Dr. Schulz whistled for taking steps.
And right now, Marist, again, we talked about it last trip down, is in a position to make their comeback run, as they did a month ago today in Teaneck.
They were down 57-50 in that ball game with just over 3 minutes left to go and went on a furious streak. It took 2 late threes from Charlene Fields and a buzzer beater by Cindy Carroll to pull out the win 62-60. This hometown crowd would love to see that duplicated here. That one tipped away. Amy Presnell right there with the ball. And Presnell will try to dribble across the timeline again. Great defense. Applied by Donna Schulz, and Presnell loses the ball again.
That time, Amy tried to get a little fancy with a dribble and go between the legs. Just had it bounce off her sneaker. Unfortunate break for the Lady Red Foxes right there.
Jill Heller will spell Amy Presnell.
And basically, that dribble was really uncalled for. She didn't need it at that point because there really was no pressure from her coming down the middle.
Dangler didn't have her hands up. Backman zipped it past her. Culkin short on the putback. And Lori Keys there for the rebound. So FDU blowing some easy opportunities here, Rob.
Yeah, and if I look up at the board, it's been about 4 or 5 minutes since FDU has scored. We mentioned like a little over 10 minutes they had 59. They're still stuck at that 59-point mark.
Dangler comes up with a loose ball. It is now a 7-point ball game.
And that time, great job by the Lady Red Foxes. Really never gave up on the ball. Got the loose ball back.
Bachman misfiring. Fields holds on to the basketball. Pulls up and hits.
Bachman very close for stealing that one from behind. Coach Beverly wants a timeout. Faris making another run.
She'll get one, and we're going to get a timeout as well. 59-54. The Foxes have cut the lead to 5. Don't you dare go anywhere. Welcome back to the McCann Center, JW Stewart. There you see Ted Holmlund. Ted, what do you got for us?
Okay, JW, well, Coach Ken Babineau is saying that the team is playing very well right now. He wants them to continue the run, and he said he wants them to play more under control in the half-court set. He said they're a little out of control, but he wants them to keep up the run. Back to you, JW.
Back to live action. Thank you very much. Once again, Ted, long down court pass. Rita Bernert had to go through her hands, and the FDU fast break beginning to fall apart, Rob.
And that could go to fatigue. We don't know that for sure. This is their type of game, like we said, so they're used to this. Maybe little mental breakdown, little mental lapse during the middle of the second half.
Foxes trail by 5 after trailing by 7. Fields, short. Lori Keys.
Great
Beautiful
play.
ball.
Great
She
play.
puts it on the floor.
Another big offensive rebound for Lori. Made a nice move, too, in the post.
Griffin with Fields all over her. Has to dribble out of trouble. Bachman, triple team, but hits anyway.
That's a big basket right there for FDU.
18 points for Christine Bachman. They finally break out of that 59 slump.
Red Fox, yeah, that's about 5 minutes slump, too. Red Foxes just answered, cut it to 3. That's a huge basket by Bachman.
Dengler gets the roll. And this crowd getting back into the ball game. A 3-point ball game.
And another reason for this offensive lapse by FDU could be the amount of pressure, the amount of energy exerted on the defensive end by the Lady Knights. That takes a lot out of you. They had put an excellent defense in the second half. Maybe they're getting a little tired, making the careless mistakes themselves.
Fox is also getting in there for some of the rebounds, maybe getting a little more physical. We know Lori Keese is very physical. Stacey Dengler came out of high school regarded as a physical ball player. Has not really shown that as much this year. She may be throwing some of her weight around too.
You're just speaking about getting a little physical. It's going to get a little physical as Miss Ricketts just entered the game again for FDU.
So the 6'1" senior, Trainer Ricketts, back into the ball game from Central High School in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 5:33 left, plenty of time to go in the ball game. Anything can happen. And Bachman at the line for 2.
Bachman, J.W., and the most consistent player in the second half. We talked about Burnett at the start of the game in our pregame show as being the leading scorer, averaging over 13 points a game. She's been held in check the second half. She had her points late in the first half, but basically been silent here in the second half.
FDU has scored 10 points here in this 20 points in the second half. Bachman has 10 of them. Fields with a steal. Feeds Dengler. Trainer Ricketts lost it. And we'll get our first look at Kenya Bovin, the 6'1" junior forward from the Bronx, New York. So head coach Sharon Manning-Beverly for FDU going with the height. Ricketts will sit down, and in goes Bovin.
Time Sean feels maybe took a little bit of a wild shot. She had a heads up. She didn't.
That's a kick.
She didn't let that bother her. She came right back on defense, got the steal right back, and Marist still has a chance to cut this lead down to 2.
Carroll gets the inbounds pass. Tara Walsh into the game from 15 feet. Dengler has position against Bovin. The turnaround. Turn it.
The basket for Stacey Dengler.
I told you we needed to go to the post more in the second half. Slow it down. Last 5 minutes or so, basically that's what we've done. We've cut a lead from 13, 14 points after you stuff. It's down to 2. Chance to cut it to 1 on Dengler's free throw.
For the Red Foxes, number 42, Stacey Dengler.
Dengler, remember, 56% from the free throw line. Her 12th point of the night. 10 in the second half as she completes the 3-point play. And the Foxes are within 1, 62-61 after trailing by 12. Nice feed to Bachman. And she blew the bunny. Presnall. Still Marist. No, we're going the other way with it.
We saw Carroll pull her hands in. She didn't want to touch it. Obviously, she thought Burnett touched it last. Refs had something else to say about it.
Babineau calling in a new offensive play. FDU has the inbounds from three-quarter court. Scholes. Here's Griffin. Blocked by Tara Walsh.
Great defensive stand by Tara Walsh. First denying the entry pass, then blocking the shot.
Foxes, we'll see if they can capitalize on this trip down. Presnall going one-on-one with Bernard. Carroll, the ball fake to Fields. Has an opening. Walsh with the offensive rebound, short on the putback, and Griffin underneath the hoop.
That time, Tara looking for the foul on the way up. Thought she got hacked. I also thought she got hacked.
Bachman hits the front of the rim, and Walsh boxes out.
And this is basically the tale of two halves. First half, FDU style, run and gun.
Fields airs out to three, in and out. Cindy Carroll rebounded, she is fouled.
Marist is getting positioned in the second half. We're going to the post more. We're out rebounding on offense and defensive boards. We're playing defense, getting the steals, getting the blocks. This is the way Coach Babineau wanted to play it. He's winning the second half war. As a result, dead even game, 1 point game with 3:39 left.
Surprisingly enough, Marist had the rebounding edge at the half by 4, 18-14. And we are going to have ourselves a timeout. FDU calls timeout. We'll take one as well. We'll be back to the McCann Center. It's a 1-point ball game. Back here at the McCann Center, JW Stewart, Rob Faris. Let's throw it down to our colleague, Ted Holmlund. Ted, what do you got for us?
Babineau was saying, JW, that it's their time to make the run. It's their time to finish the game. He said he wants to, on the defensive end, to be careful not to let FDU beat them up the court. Back to you, JW.
Ted, thank you very much. Cindy Carroll ties the score at 62. The 65% free throw shooter from Media, Pennsylvania. And here's for the lead. 12 points for Carroll.
It's a bucket above her average, and she averages just about 10.
13 points for the junior. From the corner, Megan Colkin. Points 3 and 4. 1 point advantage for FDU at 64-63. 3:20 left to go in the ball game. Getting down to crunch time.
Definitely is. So that means you're going to go to your go-to people. For Marist, no doubt that's Charlene Fields. For FDU, that's Rita Bernhardt.
Presnall short from the perimeter. Scooped up by Burner. Here's Griffin. A 3-on-1 break for FDU. Colkin missed the layup, and Walsh. Andrea Macy in there for the rebound. No look pass from Fields to Carroll. Marist controlling the boards. Andrea Macy was fouled.
That time Macy, instead of going straight up with it the way I thought she was going to go, she hesitated a little. Fortunate enough, drew the ball, should be on the line.
It was this point of the game a month ago today, down in New Jersey, where Marist trailed by 7 and mounted that amazing comeback. They trailed 57-50. FDU only scored 3 points the rest of the way, while Marist rattled off 12. We're able to win at 62-60. Fox is hoping FDU doesn't pull the same trick in their building.
The thing is, I don't think that could happen. I don't think it's going to do that. It's a back and forth game right now, Jada. A 1 point game. Most likely it's going to come down to the last minute in the last couple of possessions. And could be whoever has the ball last and scores last will win this thing.
That's the way it was to end the first half. Remember Burner hitting the 3. And here's Andrea Macy for foul shot number 2, the 72% free throw shooter from Broadneck High School in Maryland. Gets the roll. 7 points for Macy. We are tied at 64. And another timeout.
That pressure caused that timeout as FDU saw a new look on defense, forced them to take a timeout.
Tied at 64. We'll be back. Back here at the McCann Center, tied at 64, getting to be a nail biter. We send it down to someone who probably has no fingernails left himself. Here's Ted Holmlund.
Okay, JW. Coach Ken Babineau said timeouts are a key to good. He said the team played good defense. FDU only has 1 timeout left. Marist still has 3. He said for the Red Foxes not to be afraid to use one. Back to you, JW.
Ted, thank you once again. 2:41 left to go. Shannon Clark does not get the roll, but Christine Bachman does. 21 points for Christine Bachman.
14 of them in the second half, JW. Really come out and set herself.
the junior from West Milford, New Jersey, has been a thorn on the Foxes' side all night. Fields off the pick and roll is wide open.
Beautiful cut to the basketball. As I said, you're getting down the front line, you give it to your go-to player. The Red Foxes that show.
And FDU turns the ball over. And they're going to have to go with the Trader Ricketts. The big one in the middle. And Stacy Conroy will take a seat.
Number 42, Stacy Fiedler.
Keys will inbounds from the far side.
Right now, FDU man-to-man, JW, a woman-to-woman, excuse me.
Fields off the screen. Downstairs, Dengler over Buckman, and she is fouled.
Stacy, a 56% free throw shooter. Buck 52 left and tied. These are two big free throws.
She's hit 2 of 3 so far tonight.
And again, Babineau, no surprise. If Fields isn't going to shoot it, roll down on the blocks, and that's what happened there.
One of the big factors for the Foxes getting back into this ball game, they've gotten better with a wraparound pass to the post. FDU has not gotten a handle on it.
Yeah, you'd mention that is their weakness down low. When they are turning the ball over, it's usually that pass. A little more careful with their passes, taking better care of the basketball. Result, 1-point lead.
Points 13 and 14 for Dengler after she only had 2 at the break. Faris nurses a 2-point lead at 68-66 with a 1:47 left to go here in this exciting contest. The NEC finale for both schools. Felicia Griffin in the paint. 16 points for Griff. Tied again. One person the Foxes have shut down, and I hate to jinx him, is Rita Bernard, the top scorer for FDU. She had 11 points at the break. She has not scored at all in this second half, but here she goes. She takes the ball away from Fields. I knew I shouldn't have said anything. Griffin working against Fields. Downstairs to Ricketts over Dengler. Scooped up by Melissa Hauser. Ticking down to a minute.
Taking their time, 20 seconds, 20-plus seconds on the shot clock. We're just at the minute mark now. It's a big possession.
Under a minute, 55 seconds. Fields from outside. Yes! 12 points for Fields.
Biggest 3.
42 seconds. And Sharon Manning-Beverly wants a TO. It is 71-68. And this place is electric. We're going to a break. I know you won't go anywhere because we'll be back. Let's go right to our sideline guy, Ted Holmlund. Ted, what did Babineau have to say?
Okay, thanks, JW. Coach Ken Babineau was saying that the team had a good, play well. They said look for them, there's FDU to go for the 3 and not the foul, but to still play aggressive on the defensive end. They get the ball on the offensive end. After that, we get the 3-pointer there, but on the offensive end. Let's go back to you, JW.
There you saw Rita Bernard hit the 3, the long-range, full-range 3. We're tied at 71. Babineau will take a timeout. Bernard hitting her first shot of the second half. Comes up with a huge 3. They're tied at 71.
Outside, that's NBA range. And for a women's team, that's an outstanding shot.
We're going to take ourselves a quick break, and we'll go right back to Ted Holmlund when we return. Okay, back here at the McCann Center, just a few minutes early. 71-71, here's Ted Holmlund.
Well, thanks, JW. Coach Ken Babineau, all he said was, they're looking to take a shot from either the perimeter or inside, but an open shot with 5 seconds remaining. Back to you, JW.
Ted, thank you very much. 71-71 off the pro-range 3 from Rita Bernard. Even when she's not scoring that much, she can still burn you.
And we said it before, it could be the last possession, the last one to make a hoop wins. Here we are, we're set the stage, 16 seconds.
12 seconds left on the clock, tied at 71. Foxes with the last possession right here. They go to field, she's fouled.
Little question, who is getting the ball there, JW? Charlie got the ball at the top of the key, flash back to the game clock, and made a move to the hoop. Back to the act, and she'll be shooting two.
Fouled by Donna Schulz. Schulz picks up her second. Field shooting 77% from the stripe this year. Already has 12 points.
Charlene shaking her head after the miss. She needs to hit this one. Most likely, if it's made, FDU will take their last time out, spend it setting up something with 5 seconds left.
And that is exactly what happens. Timeout on the floor. Foxes with a 1-point lead. 5 seconds left to go in the contest. (72-71) is our score in favor of the Red Foxes. Ted Holmlund, what you got for us, buddy?
Thanks, JW. Coach Ken Babineau said the team's going to play three-quarter man-to-man defense, three-quarter man-to-man, and he says they're just looking for the FDU to put the ball on the floor so they won't get off an easy shot. Back to you, JW.
Ted, thanks once again. Ted Holmlund, our sideline man, been watching the Red Foxes all night long, and now the Red Foxes have to watch FDU. They have to go the length of the court in 5 seconds. Here is Bernard, and she is fouled by Cindy Carroll.
Coach Babineau can't be happy with this, JW. With 2 seconds left, she was way beyond three-point range, and also she wasn't even ready to shoot the ball, still dribbling.
Cindy Carroll, her second personal.
2.2 seconds left on the clock.
Entering the game for Marist, number 32.
Actually, my mistake, JW. They're not in a penalty,
Timeout.
which would make an inbound play with 2 seconds not a bad play at all.
Timeout once again, 72-71. Timeout called by the Foxes. We'll return.
Thanks, JW. Coach Ken Babineau said they're going to look for it to cover on screen. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Coach Ken Babineau said that the team has to play on man-to-man defense on the ball and to watch out and cover each other for screens. Back to you, JW.
Ted, thanks a lot. 2.2 seconds left in the ball game. 72-71 Marist. Donna Schulz to inbounds from the far side. Bernard, the three. No!
That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Great win, JW, for the Lady Red Foxes. On this kind of note, we're going into the playoffs 6 in a row now. 10 out of their last 11. FDU going in. 2 losses in a row, both conference losses, both home games.
Rob, it's everything we expect from this basketball game and a whole lot more.
Outstanding game, JW. Outstanding both halves, right down to the wire. We thought it might go to the wire. It did. We had the drama we wanted. Can't ask for much more.
And you see the handshakes and the hugs from the women. Smiles and rounding, of course, as the Foxes run their record to 12-6 in the NEC. 17-9 overall. They're going to be home Wednesday for the playoffs in the NEC. And as they go to the locker room, we can tell you we will be back with post-game shows and plenty of interviews on the post-game show. We'll talk about head coach Ken Babineau, Charlene Fields, and we'll even see if we can get our player of the game, Stacey Dengler. We'll be back in just a moment.
And welcome back to the McCann Center, where the Lady Red Foxes beat the top seed top-ranked Lady Knights of FDU, 72-71. Second time it's been a close game. Now joining me is the women's coach, Coach Ken Babineau. Thank you for joining us, Coach.
My pleasure.
And first question, going in first half, 42-41. It was really a run-and-shoot type game up and down the court. What did you do in halftime to make it come out in the second half and play your style of basketball?
Well, we were concerned because they were scoring a lot of easy baskets in transition. We know that that's one of the things they like to do. We had talked about that in the last couple of days of practice, and I didn't think we were really running the floor as well as we needed to defensively, and we had to make an adjustment. Our point guard was at times not coming in and picking up the first girl down the floor. She was more concerned about finding her player in transition and was giving Rita Bernard a couple of open shots with nobody on her. So we made an adjustment, told our point that she had to pick up the deepest player on the break, and then Charlene or whoever maybe, the trailer would have to then pick up the point guard's responsibility, and I thought that adjustment worked. We made a switch also where we put Charlene on Griffin, because Griffin was hurting us in penetration the first half. And as you saw in the second half, I think that was limited a little bit because Char did a good job defensively. So, those were some of the adjustments we made, and I just thought we ran the floor better defensively and got back a little bit better. We took, obviously, our zone press off because it was terrible tonight, and it wasn't giving us anything to get a lot of easy scores off it. In the second half, we went to a man-to-man full court press with a safety, and I thought that slowed them up a little bit too. So those were the things we did.
Also, first half, you had 2 free throws. You were 1 of 2 at the line.
Yeah.
Second half, I noticed you guys went down low into the post. Stacey Dengler, Laurie Keys, big factors in the second half. Was this planned? This is your style.
Yeah, we had told the kids, we weren't getting the ball inside enough. You saw in halftime stats we were 1 of 2, I think, at the line. And we told them flat out, you got to get the ball inside more. All right, put the pressure on them. I thought that a lot of the matchups that we were going to have were going to be in our favor because at times they were playing with a smaller unit in there. And with the Stacey and Laurie, if they were to get hot, we were going to hurt them inside, I felt, and that's what we did.
Okay, 6th win in a row. You're coming in 10 out of the last 11, a tremendous tear. You got your first round game next week here at home. Last year you hosted the home playoff game also, which was a loss. You know your past, having won when it's come up and over again. Mm-hmm. This your year?
I certainly hope so. We told the kids, the way we're playing right now, there's no reason why we should not believe in that. All we got to do is just keep coming out and playing the way we're playing. We're a young squad. The kind of games we've been winning a lot of close games, which I think for a young squad like this is a marvel in itself, because when you got 10 girls out of your 12 that are freshmen and sophomores, I think in a lot of the close games you just don't expect them to do what they've done. And I give a ton of credit to the kids. They're just playing smart, they're playing hard, and they're just doing everything we teach them, and I'm really proud of what they've done. To answer your question, I can't predict the future. I wish I could, but I think we got a great shot at least winning that first game and playing it 1 game at a time.
And you talk about after winning that first game, possibility of the third meeting between yourself, FDU.
Yeah.
First 2 have been classic games.
Yeah.
Both very tight, 2-point and a 1-point victory for both. They've only had 4 losses in conference, 2 of them to you guys.
Uh-huh.
Do you see that, or set the scenario for the playoffs?
There's a couple of situations that are not clear right now, because if Ryder lost tonight by having lost to LIU, by our win tonight, we would tie them in the win-loss column, and because we've beaten FDU twice, we would go over them in a playoff situation and put us in 3rd place, which would then mean we'd play Mount St. Mary's in the semifinals if we get by whoever we play on Wednesday. If it stays as is, we will meet FDU in the semis if we win on Wednesday, and that'll be just another grind-out type of game that hopefully we can have the same outcome, and I'll be smiling instead of frowning.
Be one for the ages. Okay, thank you very much for stopping by and taking time out after this game to
My pleasure.
join us.
My pleasure.
JW will be back with Charlene Fields and our game MVP, Stacey Dengler, right after this.
Okay, welcome back to the James J. McCann Center, everybody, for our post-game show. 72-71 is the final in this thrilling basketball game between the Marist College Lady Red Foxes and the FDU Lady Knights. Foxes pull out a close one after Rita Bernhardt misfiring on the 3 late in the ball game. I'm pleased to be joined by Charlene Fields.
Thank you.
And our MVP of tonight's ball game, Stacey Dengler. Thanks for joining us tonight. Charlene, we'll talk with you first of all. 72-71, the final, as I mentioned, you hitting a late shot to help the Foxes. Your thoughts on tonight's ball game? Was it pretty much what you expected, the up-and-down, run-and-gun style, down to the wire?
Yeah, it definitely was. I definitely thought it was going to be close. As far as the running, I didn't expect it to be that fast-paced. There was a time in the first half where we didn't stop at all. I could tell both teams were tired, but it was a close game. Once at the end, I think we saw that we could pull it out. We got all fired up, and that's when we came alive. But,
You get winded at all during the game?
oh, definitely, I did. At the end of the first half, I couldn't even stand up.
Now, how about in the second half? You scored 13 points in tonight's ball game, 8 in the second half, including a couple late buckets. What happened in the second half to you that didn't happen in the first half? I mean, you missed your first 3-4 shots, and then finally, only ended up with 5 points at halftime. But you really didn't look frustrated with yourself.
I think a lot of it was they played excellent defense on me in the first half. Took me out of the game. I really felt out of offense, but I didn't mind because a lot of people stepped up and scored when they needed to. As far as the second half, I think them getting tired and playing defense on me helped me to run them off screens better, and us setting better screens for me in the second half helped me to get open and be more confident.
Stacey, same question to you. 14 points for our game MVP, 12 coming in the second half after a rocky first half. What did you do differently in the second half?
Well, I had this terrible habit of trying to go after and block every shot that goes up in the air. And that's what got me in trouble in the first half. I got 2 quick fouls in the first 4 minutes, and I ended up sitting the end of the first half. And I really thought about it. I'm like, I'm not going to go out there and try to block everything. I'm going to keep my arms straight up. And it seemed to work. If I stay out of foul trouble, I usually do a lot better.
How was the physical part of the game down in the post?
Well, it wasn't too bad. Trina Ricketts didn't play as much as I thought she would have, and I think that helped out a lot. But it wasn't that physical. I think it was more of a running transition game today that was, different. So it wasn't really banging in the post. It was more like running.
Okay. Your thoughts on the upcoming playoff game? We still don't know who you guys are going to play yet. We've heard no results from anywhere else around the conference. Get a preference on anyone you'd like to play at home on Wednesday?
No, I think we'll be ready for anyone that comes into McCann.
Okay. Charlene, head coach Ken Babineau, 0 for 5 in playoff games, never won here. 6th try. What's going to happen? Jinx you. I mean, I can't jinx you 0 for 5. I mean, maybe I'll unjinx him. What's going to happen?
I just mean don't jinx us now that we're on a roll. I definitely think this is the year. At least this is my senior year. We got to go out on a good note. I got to leave having a good feeling about basketball, and I think this is the year we'll take it. You
touch on that. This is your last year, 4-year player. When you look back on your career, what are some of the images that pop to your mind when you talk about your career here at Marist? Reflect on it a little bit for me.
Images? What do you mean by
well, like, if somewhere down the road you say, hey, I played college basketball at Marist, what does that exactly mean to you? What's going to stick out of your mind when someone asks you, what'd you do in college? You played college basketball, didn't you?
I don't know. I think it was exciting. It was competitive. It taught me how to, a lot of things helped just regular in my schoolwork, manage time. I thought that it made me definitely a better person to be able to handle all of this, all of the pressure, and to handle going to college. And I enjoyed it for the most part. I thought it was a lot of hard work, a lot more than most people think. It's not as easy as people think it is, and I think that's something that I would say.
Is there one shining moment that sticks out in your mind from your career here?
No, not exactly. No, exactly. I think the FDU game last time down at FDU was the best moment of all.
Okay, well, hopefully better moments to come, of course, with the playoffs coming in on Wednesday, and we wish you the best of luck. But before I let you guys go, I know you guys are getting mobbed by some of the campers that are here. I know you worked the camps during the summer for head coach Ken Babineau. That was the big reason for most of the fans here. You guys got mobbed. Does this happen often?
No, not usually. Usually there's not that many people here, but it feels good to have a crowd.
Yeah. I know you're an old hand at handing out the autographs. How about yourself?
A little bit, but not as much as Char. I got a couple more years to go yet.
Stacey, we thank you very much. Congratulations on your play tonight. Charlene, thank you. Best of luck to you guys on Wednesday, and thanks for all the great moments and memories in your career.
Thank you.
Rob Faris will be right back with me to wrap this whole thing up. Welcome back to the floor of the James J. McCann Center, everybody. J.W. Stewart back with Rob Faris after a thrilling 72-71 victory by the host Marist College Lady Red Foxes. Marist College beating FDU in the waning seconds as Rita Bernert misses a long three that would have won the game for the Lady Knights. Just to wrap up real quickly, Marist College led in scoring by Lori Keys with 17 points. Charlene Fields contributed 13, but our player of the game goes to Stacey Dengler, 14 points, including a big 12 in the second half, Rob.
And we mentioned the 12. The thing that comes to my mind, minute 52 left. She's on the line shooting 2 big free throws. She hits both of them. Normally a 56% free throw shooter, hits 3 of 4. Those 2 big ones. She also played some great defense, had a block and a couple steals coming down the stretch. Great consistent play. Also, can't forget Lori Keys, 17 points. A lot of them coming in the second half also. A lot of them coming down on the blocks, the way Coach Babineau likes to play his basketball.
Marist College team defense doing a fine job in the last 20 minutes of play. They were down by as much as 12 in the second half, if you remember, but the Foxes then shut down Felicia Griffin and Rita Bernert. But it is Christina Bachman with her 21 points that gets our FDU MVP.
And when you talk about that stop, it comes to my mind was that 59 points. It was a little over 10 minutes. They already had 59 points. It took them to about the 5-minute mark, 5.5-minute mark to finally score another basket. But you talk about Bachman. Well, she just lit it up. 21 points, 14 of them in the second half. She came out of the blocks. Start to finish that second half, played very consistently. And it was a pleasant surprise off the bench as Bernert didn't take over the slack, like you said, shut out the whole second half. Until that end, she hit that long-range 3, NBA-type 3, basically, to keep FDU in the game. And you got to give it off to Bachman for the MVP.
Foxes into the playoffs now Wednesday night. They have no idea who their opponent is. We will not know until later on tonight. A couple games still in progress. What's your prognosis of this Red Fox team? Remember, 0-5 is the catch stat of the week. 0-5 under head coach Ken Babineau in the playoffs. He goes for attempt number 6 and still looking for his first win.
I think after I talked to Coach Babineau and after you talked to Charlene and Stacy, I think there's a different attitude this year. This is a different type of team. 10 out of the last 11, 6 in a row. They're really legit, 17-9 overall, and I think they're going to pull the first round out. And it's going to be exciting. It was a very exciting game tonight. The battle of I think, the two best teams, even though Marist is a 4 seed. These two teams have had 2 classic matchups already, and it could set up a third round matchup in the second round, the third time.
Rob, my thanks to you very much for sticking
Jay.
with me throughout the season. We may be back here Wednesday night. We know MCTV will be covering the game, but if not, you and I will hook up once again during the softball season for 1 or 2 games. Time now for me to thank a few other people who have helped not only myself and Rob Faris, but the rest of MCTV throughout our 4-year career here. I'm a senior, as are these other folks I'm about to bring out. They've been with us all 4 years, and they've really contributed, and it really shows tonight with a multi-camera shoot. Real big production, a lot tougher than it looks with only 2 cameras, a lot more equipment than you think for just 2 camcorders. And I'd like to bring out the first person who's always worked with us since freshman year on the last 3 multi-cam shoots is Rich Barone. Rich?
Thanks, JW.
Thank you very much for your 4 years of service. Appreciate your always helping us out.
I appreciate working here. It's been real fun and very educational. Learned how to use all the equipment, camcorders, monitors, and everything. But it's just been a great pleasure to working with the rest of all you guys. You're just so smart and intelligent. It's great.
Well, thank you very much, Rich, and best luck to you in the future.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, we're going to bring out our second man right now, a kid from the Bronx. His name's Dom Fontana. I met him in the first week of my freshman year, and he's been one of my good friends ever since. He's probably the first person that laughed at me when I told him I was from Rhode Island. So thank you very much for all your help, too.
Thank you, JW. You've been a great help to me since freshman year, ever since you said, am I being too pushy? I don't know what my mom or dad would think, because I was talking with their mom and dad before, and they thought they're really, really proud of you, JW. I'm not being, I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say to JW, because he makes me so nervous. He's so...
I make you so nervous.
Seriously, when you see this guy, you don't think that this guy is going to be making $4.5 million, not $4.4 million, I'm sorry, $4.4 million a year. But when you hear J.W. Stewart in the next 5 years, you'll know that he will be the voice of WNBC Sports. That's all I got to say to you.
Dom, thank you very much, and best luck to you in the future as well. And one of my good friends, I've noticed since my sophomore year, he's the former general manager, or not the general manager, the program director of WMCR. He is himself a media mogul on campus. He's also the film critic at large here on campus. He is none other than Craig DeMattis with the cyborg look. Thank you for joining me.
Stuart.
Appreciate that.
No, appreciate you. And all these years at Marist and MCTV, I'm getting a little tangled up here. No, I'm not only getting tangled up, Stuart, I'm getting choked up, man. And I want to give you a hug. Just thank you for all the grief. Thank you. Thank you, Stu.
Thank you.
And,
before we go, can you give me a Jimmy Stewart impersonation?
Oh, I'd like a little soup.
Greg, thank you very much. Best luck to you in the future. Take care.
It was great living with you, too.
Thank you. Thanks. And finally, my right-hand man, I've known him. He's probably the first person I ever met here, and he's the person who keeps me on an even keel. He's none other than Paul Fiedler. And Paul, the man who put this whole thing together. Paul, how are you?
I'm doing great, JW.
Good. Down from the broadcast booth. It's been a little while since you've been on TV.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been cable. I think when I did in Massachusetts was the last time I was on TV, so it's been a while.
And what are you going to remember when we finally graduate from here about our whole 4 years at Marist and MCTV? You know, a lot of hard times, but was it worth it, do you think?
I think it was. I had a great time the 4 years. I remember freshman year, Leo Hall, and the sports staff was basically me or you, and that's about it. We tried to film every game that was home at Marist, and it was tough. But I had a good time. I had a great time. The multi-camera shoots was the best, and I had a great time.
Well, I thank you very much there, Paul, and
welcome.
Best of luck to you in the future.
You too.
Give me a call when you get a job, okay?
NBC, let me know. we got to help each other, bring each other up on the ladder there.
There he is, folks, the man who makes myself, Rob Faris, and the rest of our commentators look the best. Paul Fiedler, thank you very much. Rob, once again, thank you very much to you as well, and thanks as always to not only the 4 people I mentioned, but our sideline man today, Ted Holmlund, Marist College making television history with our first sideline man, and Ted Holmlund was that name. Remember that, it's an answer to a trivia question. And I also want to thank Chris Baronato for working the camera on the floor tonight. He's working the camera right now, and kind of symbolic that we turned the broadcasting over, or the production end and the directing end over to Andrew Holmlund and Jim Gorham, our 2 men upstairs. They're taking over for Paul Fiedler right now, and they'll be taking over for us next year running the sports department.
I'd like to thank all these guys that you've thanked tonight. They're the ones that make this, our job is easy. They're the ones that do the tough work, and let me tell you, that was some setup upstairs when we went upstairs. Terrific job from all of them, and I thank all you guys for having me on the show.
Okay. Well, that's it for me, at least for a little while. We'll probably bump into each other sometime down the road. Until then, J.W. Stewart for Rob Faris and the rest of the MCTV gang. Take care, folks. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.